Ikson is a name some might know of but others won't. Yet if I showed you songs like Last Summer, Paradise, or All Night, you'd have at least heard of his music. Each single contains his unique chill wave sounding tropical house style with an upbeat sax-esque look, and there are a lot of them. At times he releases multiple a week. Whilst I commend him for doing this so that creators have access to a wide range of copyright-free original music, most of his work is generally pretty good. They can blend in with one another often, meaning he doesn't have a clear musical identity. It's why I was a little surprised to see that Ikson had released an album back in 2021, titled A Day in Autumn. I thought it would have been a compilation of his prior songs, or a new batch of quality yet slightly forgettable tropical hits. Instead, it was something greater. First of all, A Day in Autumn is somewhat of a departure from Ikson's usual style, yet it still feels like his work, if that makes sense. The way the piano and marimba melodies feel continuous and imaginative throughout, keys sliding up and down with carefully soft touch, only one man does that. And the style here is so cozy. With an autumny aesthetic, the songs feel more acoustic and peaceful, something I truly appreciate. It's almost like a nostalgic overload as each track progresses, remembering fondly of when you messed around in the leaves with your friends, the cool breeze whistling past each ear. You feel a lot of inner peace after a listen, the plenitude whisking oneself away from reality. I really enjoy seeing the whole album stick to one overarching theme, making the package as a whole feel complete, echoing my point just prior regarding inner peace. The track selection too is stellar, feeling distinct from one another via slight alterations to the instrumentations, each giving a unique resonance. Speaking of which, let's talk about them. Up first is Yellow, and what a starting point it is. The guitar work feels vulnerable and honest in how it's played with the chords, becoming more emotional as added instrumentation is put into the mix. That soft piano melody with the marimba slightly following is soothing to the ears. I feel like the bass here was a smart touch in its hidden depth, as otherwise its omission could have meant the song would feel a little empty. The ambience from the orchestra is when the sentimentality really hits, the high key almost harkening back to one's youth, and the forthcoming violin melody felt like the climax was that amenability. This is a common theme with A Day in Autumn, but the ways in which the melodies and instrumentation, while simple in concept, expand throughout and can evoke such nostalgia in such a short runtime is astonishing. To me, the type of nostalgia I felt here was that of lost time, to better reconnect with oneself before it's too late. Overall, Yellow is a tender, almost bittersweet opener to what's to follow. Next is Dear Autumn, and whilst it may not hit the high notes of Yellow, I like to think of this as a relaxing good time anyway. The Animal Crossing influence is clear here, and I'm all for it. Whether it be the beat, that background marimba, or the classic sounding piano chords. Lovely. But it's not just a tribute, as Ikson puts his own stamp on the style, with his signature piano melody and ambient orchestral chords to boot. How they gel together is so smooth. Love to think of a more descriptive word, but it's just that. Smooth. My personal highlight has to be when the melody gets more ethereal, moving past its previous stop-start nature for a free-flowing reverberance. So when it goes back to that in a triumphant perception, it's well and truly deserved. Plus the ending where the last couple piano notes play out with a lot of reverb, beautiful touch there. Overall, Dear Autumn might be a more simple track in execution, however it's still a great pleasure to listen to. Yeah, it's no competition. Pumpkin Field is the best track off A Day in Autumn. From the get-go, its cheerful attitude to its performance through the guitar and orchestral plucks is just so infectious. The kicks, snaps and shakers feel weightless, yet so impactful all at once. And once the piano melody hits in, perfection. It differs here from previous incarnations by how often it alternates between the current and previous key for a wider feel that adds to the track's identity. It also sounds sick. I really like how the orchestral chords are utilised here, as they feel less pronounced, instead preferring to be a lower key and sounding more mature, almost as if their life is in the latter stages. Their acceptance poignant. The track feels strong in execution with these elements present, yet they are expanded throughout in fun and unique ways. For instance, the piano melody is constantly altering, with the marimba housing a few distinct notes to juxtapose this within the spare gaps. Its structure consistently changes from something more free-flowing to an almost stop-start rhythm from slight portions, similarly to Dear Autumn, yet here there's always motion in between and the track just keeps evolving throughout. Its delicate touch to the chords I specifically admire for targeting a wide range of emotions, from nostalgia to plenitude to ignorant bliss, when life was simpler. Overall, I adore Pumpkin Field and feel like it's a hidden key to my childhood in some ways, making the listen feel that much more bittersweet. Moving forward, we have Staying In. Now, for a track that is so stripped down and short, I was surprised to see how much I felt connected to it. Essentially, there are only 3 elements to the track: the main piano chords, background piano melody, and a rainy ambience. Ikson really does know how to create such emotional pieces of sound with the bare minimum. I have to hand it to him here. It opens up on a low melody, minute in its output, with slight ambient pads dispersed as the rain commences. The chords are heavy, almost as if they bear the weight of their pain struck within, yet slow in execution, trying to ground oneself at a pace to comprehend. How its distant brethren continues its existence at a faster tempo, they feel mismatched, and that's what makes the track work. It blends elements that could distract from one another, but instead those imperfections allow for a greater sense of honesty. Overall, Staying In is a deliberate piece of morality that I can relate towards all too well. Up next is As Leaves Fall, and actually feels distinct from the rest of the track list. There's a bit more of that archetypal Ikson here, whether that be the guitar work that feels slightly off in its resonance, the piano that has a harder impact, the beat that leans closer to the inspiration of tropical house, or the use of distant vocal chops throughout. You might think of this as a lazy way of Ikson trying to harken back to his classic fans, but no, it still has that autism. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. It still has that autumn aesthetic with the calm piano melody, orchestral chords, and a relaxing pace. Both styles fit quite nicely and show a different type of experimentation from A Day in Autumn I was not expecting. Because of the track aspiring to work with a multitude of distinct pieces for a complete perception, it does lose some of that identity seen previously, whereas Staying In took a simpler approach to utilising contrasting components effectively. As Leaves Fall felt more ambitious, which works in its creative output, yet the execution was not as pronounced. Nevertheless, As Leaves Fall is still a great demonstration of Ikson's production work and mixing his styles together. For the penultimate track, we have A Maple's Coat. Similar to Dear Autumn, its execution may be straightforward, but that's used effectively in its slow build nature. The piano chords have a definite jazz inspiration. I had thoughts of New York upon first hearing them, holding on to the more impactful reverberations heard in As Leaves Fall. Here though, it's more of a gentle stroll, allowing for the impact to have a greater significance. Bass and melody have an upbeat attitude that seems to have overcome the hardships of previous, plenitude of one's past, as well as making the most of the now. I have to shout out the shaker here, as the implementation definitely fits best out of all the track list, adding a lot to those jazzy chords. The way the slow build also intertwines the marimba and orchestral chords feels soft and warm. Its overall length and structure might be a little predictable, but I'm glad it didn't completely have an all-out final third section like others on the album. Overall, there isn't too much for me to say regarding A Maple's Coat, other than that it's a cozy good time. And finally, October Sun, another track that attempts to differentiate itself from the track list, but not like previously. It houses a lot more atmospherical elements, from the marimba to the pluck GameCube vibes and the piano melody. In fact, for the opening, that melody was more ambient to bring the track in. Its use of the violins are more minimal, only as background notes. Personally, I felt this worked in helping create an environment that felt new to the album. The beat and shot effects too have a unique resonance to them, almost having a household design. My favourite part is how the forefront melody gels with the plucky variant behind, with delay and reverb added for a wider sound, which is definitely welcoming. And with the last section in particular, the different melodies go even further into unexpected territory. Similarly to Dear Autumn, it sort of has a video game inspired feel to its nature. Here I'd say it's weirdly similar to something like Pikmin, but I'm for stuff like that. The only gripe I have here is that it doesn't completely fit the autumn aesthetic like the previous tracks, meaning its placement as the finale feels somewhat undeserved. I would have had yellow to take its place, although I can see why Ikson may have chosen this to be the last. Overall, October Sun might not be the perfect ending, but it's a unique one I can admire and enjoy a lot. And that was A Day in Autumn. I honestly loved this album so much. Ikson packed so much love and emotion within 20 minutes, astounding when I say it out loud. The way it tackles themes such as nostalgia, plenitude of one's existence, and life in general, intertwined with the autumn aesthetic, make it feel quite personal, and how it progresses throughout I really enjoyed too. Its attention to detail in terms of the instrumentation, chords and melodies show a divine level of craftsmanship not many others would exude. I've been working on the script for this video for about a year. In 2022 I had the opening 2 paragraphs typed up, before losing interest with the video. Luckily my passion for A Day in Autumn led me to revive in the video, so I hope you all know how much I really did adore this work. Overall, I'm giving A Day in Autumn a 9 out of 10. It's masterful in its execution of simple reverberations, and the added emotion and personality injected within stays with you long past the final track. Thank you, Ikson. If you all enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like as well as subscribing, that would be nice. I enjoyed making this video, as scripting and reviews is one of my favourite hobbies, so comment down below if you want more content like this. Both Ikson's social medias and A Day in Autumn will have links in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.